welcome to the Stirred Up broadcast. Got my boys with me. I was about to say with me for the usual sports talk, coast to coast. We're gonna start in the NFL because we got a lot of NBA to cover, so we're gonna start in the NFL. OJ, is your boy Aaron Rodgers gonna show up to training camp on July 1st?
No.
Not a maybe. I don't know. You just flat out said no.
Simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's Doug in. He's a principled man, so I don't even see him coming in by day one of the season. He might sit out the first 2 or 3 games. Or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if he sat out the whole season since he's already emphatically said that he don't want to be there. Now, I understand. I really don't understand this gripe personally. Because personally, I think these professional athletes get paid too much money as it is. But to me, he's kind of being a crybaby. He can't expect the same treatment in Green Bay that Tom Brady gets in Tampa. Or that Lamar Jackson gets in Baltimore. I mean, every organization is different, especially with Green Bay because their team is collectively owned by the community. It's not like it's one owner and he got one beef with one person. What's he going to do? Fight the whole organization that owns shares in the Green Bay Packers franchise?
Well, to be fair, what ownership has done is work. I mean, they've been in the league championship game the last 2 years.
And how many of them has he won?
That's beside the point.
Why does it have to be beside the point? I'm just saying.
He gets you there. That's the point. He gets you there.
The point is that they're doing their job as far as putting the pieces together, allowing him to flourish, and which he is, but he's still griping about because they didn't call him about the quarterback. And no, it's not really about the quarterback. It's just the way they went about doing things is what he's talking about.
I don't see why he can be mad about that because they did the exact same thing with him and Brett Favre. They didn't talk to Favre about drafting him.
I don't know. They might have. They might have.
Change your ways. Change your ways.
They didn't talk to Brett Favre about him being drafted.
Because if they talked to Brett Favre, why was he immediately traded to the Jets, cut, and then picked up by the Vikings? They didn't talk to Brett about that.
Right.
You know that,
OJ. He wasn't immediately traded.
He wasn't, but
they
gave
him.
Well, hold on, gentlemen. Hold on. He remember they actually wanted to keep him, but he was going to retire.
He said he was going to retire.
He was playing about retiring. He actually, I think, officially retired and then came back, and they didn't want him again at that point because they were moving on with Aaron Rodgers. I think they informed him that they were, or that was the atmosphere of it. The organization that they were going to move on to Aaron Rodgers.
I think
they had won an NFC championship too.
I think this just goes along the lines of something that I said a couple of shows ago. That I mean, I guess if you're that good, sometimes you can. I'm not gonna say have the right, but you have the power to hold an organization hostage, kind of like what Ezekiel Elliott did with Jerry Jones and. What some of these players are doing, do this, or Julio Jones just did to the Falcons, yada, yada, yada. We'll get to that one in a minute. But, I don't know. He was MVP last year. I mean, he threw all them touchdowns, but I don't know. I just think that it's just too much money being tossed around for him to be crying about it. He doesn't want to be there just because he got that little taste of Jeopardy. He wants to be out on the West Coast, whatever. I don't think he's as great as people think he is. His numbers are telling a story, but I said it last show. That's because of the Tom Brady rule that Quayle so elegantly pointed out. But so I don't know. I'm not gonna spend this. I'm not gonna spend this whole show talking about Aaron Rodgers. The bottom line is, yeah, he's got him there, but he hasn't got him back to that big dance but one time. And in the last 2 years, we've all agreed that he's played lukewarm, especially in that NFC Championship game where he could have made a couple of different plays that might have made the difference.
No argument for me.
So,
I agree. I am not a fan of Aaron Rodgers with this, and then with this organization choosing, the future. Why not?
I mean, because he's not no spring chicken. I mean, everybody can't play till they're 45 like Tom Brady, getting knee surgery so he can be a little bit more mobile. But whatever. All right, let's talk about this Julio Jones. Eric, does Julio Jones make the Titans more of a threat in the AFC South?
Because he's old. And I'll just say that. I mean, Julio Jones has not looked good in the past couple of years. I mean, at least, well, he's been hurt the last 2 years, right? I mean, that's his truth. I mean,
how old is he, Quell?
Maybe with Derrick Henry and him, maybe. I don't know. But to me, no.
Has Julio Jones been hurt?
Yeah.
No, I was asking you how old he was.
How old? Yeah. I think he's like 30, right?
32.
32. Is he 32? My age then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Does it make him better, OJ?
It depends on what Julio they get. I mean, he has been hurt the last couple of years, but if he can come back into form, you've seen that man had over 200-something yards in a game. So if he can be dominant like that again, and plus the other receiver, A.J. Brown, showed you that he can be a dominant force. So now you have to worry about the outside, and then while you worried about them on the outside, they go Derrick Henry coming up the middle. So you just got to pick your poison now.
Any more free agent signings that big names that went anywhere that might make a difference? Anybody? Because I got a couple more NFL things, and we're gonna move on to this NBA.
Not that I have or seen.
A lot of little names, but not any
I
big,
got some
big
potentials.
names.
Yeah, Richard Sherman is shopping around right now.
What, man? Richard Sherman's old as.
He's a big
Sherman's
name.
old, boy.
He a big name.
He's a big name, but he ain't been playing like a big name. His name ain't Darryl Green. The ageless wonder who could still intercept balls at 40. He ain't that, and Sherman ain't there. He ain't that. They don't make players. They don't make players like Darryl Green and Deion Sanders no more.
Nope.
I would say he should just go to Dallas since they got his OD coordinator.
But still, man, that's not gonna make him better.
I'm saying he knows the defense, and so he can show the younger guys how to play in that defense scheme.
So he'll be a locker room guy, just pretty much a locker room guy.
All right.
Well,
who do you guys think is the temp? I'm coming to you last, OJ, because I don't even care what you think. But who do y'all think that in the NFC is Tampa Bay's biggest threat? Because, remind you, they brought back every last starter that played for them in that Super Bowl last year with a couple of additions.
On the NFC or just their division?
I don't know this year.
NFC. I don't know this year. I personally don't think anybody in the
Bears.
Yep.
No way.
If that quarterback is if that quarterback is everything y'all say he is, because y'all know I'm not the college guy, then yes, the Bears. They're bringing back their same
Justin
defense.
Fields.
That's correct.
Oops, sorry.
He will be starting. We all know that, right?
I know that. OJ doesn't seem to think so, but I know that.
OJ, I just go by what the coach say. You got to prove it to the coach to get in the game, right?
You know better than I do. The coach ain't got the last word.
Nope.
The man who signed them checks do. Ask Jerry. Who's the coach? Who's Dallas's coach? I don't even know who their coach is.
I don't know anymore.
Who's Dallas's coach?
It's Mike McCarthy.
Oh, McCarthy. Yeah. So you think McCarthy's making the last choice? No, Jerry Jones is upstairs telling him what to do.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's a whole different organization altogether. We're talking about the Bears.
Anyways, who's y'all's biggest threat, OJ?
Honestly, I would have said New Orleans, but then Drew Brees retired. Then I would have said Green Bay, but
Hold
Rodgers
up.
is
We're gonna pause.
protesting.
We're gonna pause right there because I don't. I'm at work. I work during the day now, so I need stuff to pass the time. So sometimes I pop in on First Take and listen to the BS. But who was it? Keyshawn Johnson said this morning that don't sleep on New Orleans because James Winston is not as bad as people think he is. He seems to think that Peyton's the right coach for him to settle him down and to make better decisions and to put him in a position to make good decisions. And that team's not dead yet. What do y'all think about that?
I'll say, yeah, because look what he did to
You gonna say
rectify.
yeah?
No. Look what he did to rectify Drew Brees' career, right?
He didn't have to rectify Drew Brees' career. San Diego threw him to the wolves, and New Orleans knew he wasn't dead yet and picked him up. New Orleans
And
or
he had shoulder
Brees,
surgery, bro.
Brees, yeah, but Brees was already
Right.
a star before he got there.
Oh,
Brees was a star before he got there.
Breeze was at business when he.
That was
but they didn't know about his injury. They didn't know.
right. They didn't know about his no.
San Diego, that was the stupidest thing that they ever did in their organization besides trading Eli Manning, even though he gave him no choice, for Phillip Rivers. But
Traded, man.
so, but no, that was the dumbest thing that San Diego could have did.
Well, I guess I missed the 2 days, but
Yeah, Drew Brees was
he was that.
he's always
dude
been a
that
great
put the-
quarterback. Didn't he come from
Yeah.
help me out, OJ? Where'd he come from in college?
Purdue.
Yeah.
Purdue.
And,
Purdue.
and guess where Purdue's at?
Where-
Illinois.
where-
Anyway, yeah. So I've always been a Drew Brees guy.
Yeah.
Actually, it's in Indiana.
Whatever. It's right across the river. But yeah,
Same difference.
New Orleans. I don't think New Orleans is gonna be as bad as people think they are. I think Winston couldn't, and he's been under Brees for the last 2 years.
So I'm sure he's learned a lot with that
Well,
offense.
I'm glad that y'all finally giving my boy his just due. Y'all always was clowning him about 30-30, but you know what?
Look.
He has time.
Still trash.
Uh,
He's still trash.
You know, because like I had said before, he proved that he can play quarterback. He threw for over 5,000 yards. The most in Tampa Bay history. They didn't want to talk about that, but he was so immature. That's why they got rid of him, and they got an adult come in the room, and you see, we won a Super Bowl because we were wasting guys' talent. You know.
Yeah.
We had a Super Bowl window, but we just needed a quarterback to get us there. Now, as far as New Orleans goes, I think
Hold on a second though. You said Green Bay after New Orleans. I'm assuming that's with Rodgers at quarterback.
Yeah, I said I would have said Green Bay, but Rodgers is protesting now, so
Okay, Max Kellerman. And the only reason I said that is because he's gonna say he's gonna pick Green Bay if Rodgers is there. Dude, you can't have a maybe. It's a simple question.
But right now, I would say the Cowboys because that offense was potent. If they get even a semblance of defense, they're gonna be a hard out.
Well, who's gonna give Tampa the most run for their money? Because we know it ain't gonna be your Vikings.
Hey, we win the division without Drew Brees. I don't care what you're saying. Or without not Drew Brees, but Aaron Rodgers, we win the division. So, but who gonna get a run for their money in the NFC? Probably the Cowboys. Cowboys bringing back everybody, depending on how Dak Prescott does, and they got some good draft picks. Got that good corner now, you know. So, I would think Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta's out of here. I don't know. Y'all said New Orleans, but I'm not sure about New Orleans, honestly, with James Winston at the head.
How come all y'all are sleeping on the NFC West? Arizona's up and coming. Not saying they gonna give Tampa Bay a run for their money, but Seattle has made some moves in the offseason. I think it's gonna make them a legitimate contender for NFC Championship.
I don't see Russell Wilson.
Seattle's gonna be great. What about when they get to the playoffs?
What you mean you
It's
don't?
just like
That's the
Dallas. They
problem.
don't have a defense. I mean, the defense falls apart at the wrong time of the year.
You right about
They
that.
always
They're gonna
get
choke.
exposed in the playoffs every single time. I'm like, oh, here he come, here he come, and then dead in the
But to be
water in the
fair,
playoffs.
Dallas ain't got much of a defense either.
That's why I said if they have even
He
a
stepped up their
semblance
defense.
of a defense, they'll be. I mean, that firepower is on offense, but Dak had to do everything. I mean,
And
that's why they
I
was
don't
in
know
them
what
back and forth
Keyshawn.
battles.
I don't know what Keyshawn was smoking, but he had the nerve to say that the Rams with Stafford at the helm was going to be a contender.
Hey, don't sleep. I like that pick. I mean, if Stafford brings his game along with that defense that you already know they're like number one in the league the last 2 or 3 years, it's a no brainer that the Rams uh will be a contender. But you just don't know what kind of what kind of quarterback you're gonna get with Stafford.
Hmm. All
That's
right,
all.
last one. Who's going to give Kansas City a run for their money in the AFC? Because personally,
Baltimore.
OJ, I'm gonna say the same thing you said about Seattle. I don't see Lamar Jackson. He does the same thing that Russell Wilson does. He gets him to the playoffs, and what happens? He wins a wild card game, and then he folds.
And don't sleep on Cleveland. They feel they should have won that game last year.
That's the same thing your boy Stephen A. said. I don't think there's anybody in the AFC that really can contend. Maybe Cleveland. AFC, if Lamar Jackson learns to pass first and run second. Can't forget about Buffalo.
Right? What about the Raiders, your favorite team?
That's OJ's favorite team, and I don't see them.
They keep changing their philosophy every year. So I don't, first they want to be a run team, and then they want to be more of a passing team like last year.
What
They don't
about
know what the
what,
philosophy is going to be.
what about Tennessee, especially with picking up Julio Jones? And you said they already got another outside receiver. Do they got any defense down there?
That's another thing. Tennessee don't have a good defense. They have a monster on offense. It's just defensively, can you stop the other team from scoring? You know,
I'm
a
watching
lot of
this
these teams.
game, and I guess Milwaukee needed some home cooking. Let's see how long they can keep it up. They was up by 20 after the first. Was that the half or the quarter? I think that's a half. No, that's a quarter. Never mind. But yeah. Anyway, now let's go on to basketball. I'm gonna start. I want to start with something that Max Kellerman is gonna make me buy a ticket and
Max Kellerman.
go to New York and smack him for. Y'all ready for this? I don't know if any of y'all saw this, but this fool said
Was
that
this morning? Was
no,
that this
this was
morning?
it was somewhere
Oh.
last week that I was listening, and I wrote it
Okay.
down so I would not forget. This fool said that Devin Booker. Ready for this, y'all? Let me make sure I got the right key ready. This fool said that Devin Booker is a better pure shooter than Kobe Bryant.
No.
I'm
There's
just
no
telling
way.
you what he said. I didn't say that I agree with it. I'm telling you what he said.
Right.
I'm coming to you, Quail, because that's your Laker boy. I mean, what's up? Is he right or is he wrong?
Better pure shooter.
That's what he said. I'm just and look. I don't make this stuff up. YouTube it. He said that Devin Booker is a better
He's a
pure shooter
Pure shooter than Kobe,
Kobe
Bryant.
Bryant.
Let me. I
mean,
haven't.
If you need
To be fair to Devin, but I'm gonna absolutely say no. I almost went on a rant, but I have to calm myself down because I haven't seen Devin Booker
Much of him
play
play.
except for the playoffs,
Right.
except for these playoffs, and he was okay. Like he had some very spotty shooting,
Mhm.
going on, And if we just talking about the 3-point shot, yeah, maybe, yeah, if you want to do that, but anything inside the 3-point shot, no. Now,
Nope.
and he's not even a good inside shooter comparably to the basketball players in this class. Like he's just a 3-point shooter. It seems like a glorified one.
Yeah.
OJ,
So yeah,
OJ,
Much to what Cliff, I mean, to what Quell just said. I mean, he's more of a marksman. He like to shoot that three inside the paint, kind of spotty, But he's not that a big of a guy anyway, so he might be like Clay, just like to shoot from the outside. Because I mean, that's the only game that you get really got.
I mean, Kobe had the post up Jordan move. The fake to the right, and and,
Well, why'd you
and
do
then
that? Why'd you do that?
uh,
You OJ
it's the
already
same thing.
calling him a clone, and you gonna say he a post up Jordan too? You ain't doing nothing but making his case for him.
Hey, let the
Huh.
truth be known. I
Why couldn't he just be a hard worker and he,
Not because he copied his game. He studied. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, if I want to
Right.
be the best, I'm gonna study the best player, and that's what he did.
So you're saying that Jordan was the best player of all time?
I'm saying Jordan was the best player of his era,
Oh,
according
so now you're gonna try to clean it up like you just didn't say that.
according to the statistics. LeBron's gonna end up rewriting the record book just by the sheer numbers that he's playing. I mean, 30. He's 36, right?
7.
MJ retired at 36.
But MJ also went to college and got 2 NCAA or Final Four championships. So
Yeah,
that's
what
neither
I'm
here nor
saying.
there, though. I'm not taking nothing away
Yep.
from
Hey,
LeBron because what he
y'all see
does.
LeBron trying to change his number now?
Yeah, he's going back to number 6, what he wore in Miami, which might be a good
Oh.
idea.
Huh.
But since you brought up LeBron, well, too
I had to
many
do it.
too many injuries, bad coaching. What bounced them off the playoffs this year? I know you got an answer.
It broke up. What happened?
I was asking you what bounced the Lakers out the playoffs this year. Too many injuries, bad coaching, or they just didn't. Bottom line, were they not healthy enough? Is that what it was? Or
Since it's been so long, I'm trying to not go on my rants. However, let's keep this PG and nice. First off, yes, there's a number of injuries that happened. He had no cohesiveness. And Anthony Davis was what I feared all along. From what I told y'all, it's like, can he stay healthy? Didn't I say that? I said that in one of the shows, right?
you did. I was actually listening
I
to it
said
the
he
other
can he
day.
stay healthy,
You said it when he
and
you said when he first got traded there.
he's always been hurt. He like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is like the new Anthony Davis, essentially. I think he's younger Joel Embiid, pretty sure. So, but you can't, you know, the best ability is availability. So, if you can't be available, then there's no point.
But to be fair to
LeBron,
Phoenix,
obviously.
but to be fair to Phoenix, and I know Murray's out, but the way that they're playing against Denver, do you really think that the Lakers at full strength would have beat them?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
about matchups because they would have they played big boy ball against
Hmm.
them, and that's what worked. Anthony Davis, Drummond, LeBron James, I think Kyle Kuzma was a guy, and then Kentavious Caldwell Pope. I think that's 5, right?
Yeah, but Pope wasn't
Yeah,
doing nothing that series at all, and
he
he's
wasn't.
healthy.
Yeah, he wasn't. And then I mean, you could switch him out for Caruso or whatever. You always have a shooter. So if you got 3 big men and then you got 2 shooters, you could you could take the Suns because when you got length, then you can close out on the 3-point line. So that was the biggest thing, closing out on the 3-point line, making them pressuring them. And Chris Paul was apparently hurt. I mean, he was in and out, whatever. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's always been a question mark. If he had been healthy down in Houston, they would have beat Golden State that year. But anyway, big ups to Dallas because they took the Clippers to 7 games. Luca was doing his thing.
I
I
really
think
thought they was gonna win that
I,
series.
I thought they I think they need just one more shooter. Because Hardaway Jr. didn't come up. What does OJ say? He came up small when it counted the most. That game 6, I thought they was gonna win that. I really did, but
To be
He's
fair,
definitely got
though,
his
what about
hand.
Kristaps Porzingis? He's supposed to be the number 2.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
And
I'm
he was
glad
the
you.
smallest on the
I was about
court.
to say, I'm glad you said supposed to, because I forgot he was on the team until you just said his name. So,
Right. He can't play defense. He's supposed to be this big offensive guy. He's supposed to be like the European Kevin Durant, and he's scoring 10 points. Man, he don't get up out of here, dude.
OJ, what about you? You thought Clippers gonna pull it out, or did you think Dallas was gonna pull the upset?
I thought Dallas was gonna close it out, but and big ups to Kawhi. He proved that he was a superstar, and he put his team on his back, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I don't know. Kawhi, I don't know. He gets his points. He's a great playoff superstar. I'm gonna give him that. Because I mean he had monster games. But what about Robin? This dude
Robin.
that he held hostage to get on his team, and he's
Mm-hmm.
not helping.
Mm-mm.
He went 5 for 13 last night, or on Monday night, or Tuesday night, whatever night it was. The last 2 games against Dallas, he went 6 for 20 and 4 for 19. A number 2 is not supposed to be that laxy daisy. Yeah, he plays defense every now and again, but if I'm Kawhi, this dude is just getting his. He's not a number. He's playing like a number 3 or 4 right now. To be fair to Kawhi, he's picking up the slack for this dude because he ain't helping him.
Paul George has always been that way. He's a streaky type of player. I mean, he'll be cold in the first half and come back and kill you in the second half.
Well, guess what? He ain't had no streaks in this playoff because
Yeah. At least he can play some defense.
he really has not been helping that team at all. And what happened to playoff Rondo? I ain't seen him yet. Ain't that why they got him?
Hey, Reggie Jackson has been stealing his thunder. Got to be on the court, and they playing Reggie Jackson because that's the hot hand.
And I think that he's
Terrence
given a
Mann?
bigger role here. I think he's given a bigger role in the Clippers. And, he wasn't given that big role at the Lakers.
I told you that's the exact thing that I said to you when they first traded him because everybody said he was going to be missed, and he probably is, but I was wondering how it was going to affect him because he was going to have to play more. They were expecting more. They expected more of him in Atlanta because he was a starter over there. And I don't know when he came to the Clippers if he was starting, but I know he's been coming off the bench in his last 2 series. But whatever the case may be. Anyway, did your boy?
I was just gonna say he was a starter, but as Reggie Jackson's gotten better and Terrence Mann has proven that he can play playoff basketball. I think he's a rookie, right? They've been giving him more minutes, and they've been giving Reggie Jackson more minutes.
Well, all I got to say is, if Paul George don't get on a streak, as OJ called it, the Clippers is going home.
Are they down 1-0 or 2-0? Or
It'll be 2-0 after tonight because Mitchell gonna drop another 45 on him, maybe 50.
They're putting a lot of pressure on Daniel to perform.
He did it last year in the bubble. Why not?
Can he keep up the fireworks?
We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out how you get hurt and you've been resting for a week. What is wrong with Conley?
Hey, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be back tonight. They said questionable.
I seen a push notification at 12:30 that said he was definitely out for tonight. But what did he look up that injury if you can, Quail? Because I want to know how you get hurt and you've been out. You haven't played in over a week anyway. That's what I'm trying to wonder. I mean, maybe it's something that happened in practice. Anyways, let's go over to OJ's favorite series, Philly and Atlanta. Because Trae Young, they almost blew that game, though. I don't know. Somebody said that Doc Rivers left the bench in too long. I didn't watch that game on Monday, so I don't know. But It looks like it because when he started mixing it up and having a couple of starters on the floor with people coming off the bench, it was a better result. But Trey Young is for real. I still think he got a lot to learn, but
Yes.
Yeah. The second game, they just started throwing bodies at him, and
yep,
and that's what you got to do.
yep. And I'm gonna
Make
put
the
it
other
like,
people
and I'm gonna
come
put
up.
it like this, OJ, and how adamant I'm about Paul George not getting the job done, especially when Kawhi said, "Y'all get him, or I'm going to the Lakers," and they, basically got rid of their whole squad. I would take Ben
Hmm.
Simmons over him right now.
I mean, you get defense, but the offense, I don't know. You definitely won't. You're definitely gonna miss that 3-point shot.
Well, he did show us some offense in that game. What was it, game 6 against whoever they played? New York? No, it wasn't New York. Who did they play in the first round? Washington.
The Hawks played the Knicks, but Washington
Yeah,
played
in game 6 at home, Ben Simmons did step
Sixers.
up. And of course, you got some Danny Green and some of the other role players on that team. What's his name?
And,
Maxi. Maxi definitely stepped up. That's a young kid that's gonna be
and
good
and
one
to be
day.
fair to Ben Simmons, I mean, he was only a lucky shot away from going to the Eastern Conference. So with Kawhi Leonard.
Hmm. The boy that was dancing around the
I've
hoop.
always
Oh yeah,
known that.
Mike Conley might be done, by the way. But sorry, go ahead.
Why? What happened? What's his injury?
It's a hamstring injury, and those are either like super serious or not serious at all, where the player is trying to like get over. And if he's not playing in the playoffs, it's probably bad, and he's probably not coming back like James Harden. James Harden had that hamstring problem, and he and look what happened.
Did
You
he get
can't.
hurt in the last game against the Grizzlies or something?
Hunley?
Yeah, because that's what they played in the first round.
Um, 54% shooting. I mean, he missed 21 games in the regular season with hamstring tightness. However, prior to start to the series, he remained optimistic. My mind said, I'm going to be ready to play. I'm going to be ready. No, he's probably through.
Mm,
Just like hamstrings are like, yeah,
yeah,
that's the business.
but
You
and
don't
that's
never.
even more of a slap in the face to the Clippers. One of their stars was missing, and like I don't like to agree with this dude, but like Max Kellerman said, if Kawhi was an ultimate superstar, how come he didn't pick up the assignment of defending Mitchell? Because he's their best defensive player. That's their best offensive player. Why aren't you trying to slow him down?
LeBron would have did it.
Well, you see, now to be fair, he did it to Luca when in them last 2 games when it counted. Every time they went to the pick and roll, he chose Luca to
And
defend.
Lucas still scored 35 points both of those games.
Yeah, they let. That was the whole point. They was gonna let Luca get his, but
Hmm.
everybody else had to step up. That's how they were losing because they, the what's the old boys? I can't think of the son
Hardaway.
the, yeah, Hardaway, yeah, the Hardaway Jr. He, he didn't show up, and then the Porzingis came up small.
That's the one who
Those are,
definitely needs to show up. Like Quell said, he's supposed to be number two.
those are the guys that will beat you. When they start scoring 30 and 20 and 30 points, and you don't account for them points, that's what beats you. And then
And what's going on for Zingis, man? What's going on with this dude? I thought he was supposed to be so good.
a
He
lot
had
of
one
people
good year
thought
and
he was
people
gonna
was
be
jumping
good,
up
but
and
that's
down
why
about him.
Nobody dogged him either. Nobody was like, "Oh, he's not as good as we say he is," or whatever. Like nobody said that. It's just been whispers about, yeah, he's a good player, and that's it.
that's why the Knicks got rid of him because that's who drafted him originally, and then he went to the Dallas, and I was supposed to have been their star because they picked him up, but then Luca's been all world, so they forget about Porzingis. I guess they're giving him a pass.
Well, we knew it wasn't gonna last long. I told y'all at the end of the first quarter it was 30-9. It's 33-30, which means Milwaukee has only scored 3 points.
Well, they're gonna play better at home because that was atrocious on the road. I mean, if they don't
Man,
have any kind of
I
fire in
said
them,
it to somebody at work, and I'm
right.
gonna say it to y'all. Giannis is the old Peyton Manning. He got all those regular season stats, but when it comes to the playoff, go ahead and say it for me, OJ. What does he do?
it comes up small.
There it is. Especially when you're playing against somebody good. You can't play against Durant, Kyrie, and Harden when he's on the floor. And that's a shame, too. They blew him out by 25 the other night, and Harden didn't even play.
But to be fair to Peyton, he kept running into Tom Brady. You know,
We ain't making excuses. We're just pointing out facts.
I'm just saying. then stay all the facts.
Well, hold up. Why, how's that an excuse for him when his brother beat him twice?
His brother had the clutch gene. Something Peyton didn't have. I was telling y'all that about Eli when he was coming out. Because I seen him go to 4 overtimes in college and win that game. I knew that he had that it factor when it came down to it. And that's what he showed you in them 2 Super Bowls.
So they
So,
complete and utter opposites of each other, just like brothers are supposed to be, I guess, huh?
pretty much. I mean, they both got 2 rings, so I guess he can't really hold nothing over his head, but
But
No.
I'm saying, Eli is atrocious in the regular season.
yeah, he
He does
is.
not do well. The 2 Super Bowls that he won, he was I think it was 9-7 and 8-8 or something
Yeah,
like that.
one of the years they were a wild card.
Yeah, one of the years.
But anyway, back to this basketball stuff. Do you think the Clippers are gonna get a split, OJ?
Uh, I think that could. It depends on how this game unfolds.
And what
If
about
they
your
lose to
who? Where's your boy? He's like a ghost because you were high on him before the year started, OJ, and he ain't. Ty Lue ain't playing Beverly at all.
Too
uh,
small. He too small. Like Lucas said.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's what I mean. That's why they didn't play Kennard because he's a defensive liability, and they was already getting torched by Luca.
You know, Luka torches just
Same
about
time with
everybody
Willie
they play
Cousins, but
against, though. So, Eric, is it gonna be a split or is Utah gonna go up 2-1 or 2-0?
2-0, bro. That's what I think. I mean,
I hope
Donovan
Conley
Mitchell
can
probably
come
gonna
back
drop
because
50 on him.
yeah, I hope Conley can come back by game 3 though because the Clippers are very vulnerable right now. And I told y'all, Ty Lue is the John Gruden of the NBA. He inherits this talent, and people call him a winner. He ain't no winner. Who he didn't coach? LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard. Who's not gonna win with the people on their team?
hey, he showed y'all he could coach when they came back from being swept.
To be fair, Cliff, it's not as difficult, but it is somewhat difficult to coach up superstars to win an NBA championship.
I ain't giving him no
But
credit.
definitely not as hard.
Just like Steve Nash, he inherited. He's the other John Gruden. He's the John Gruden of the East. Hey, man, please. The first year coaching, you got Harden, uh, Durant, and Kyrie on your team. You know what? I'm even go a step further with
I don't
this.
respect
This
that either. That's how I don't respect that team either. Like, yeah, there's no comparison to like the other super teams in the past. Even LeBron's team, y'all, and people like to compare to Miami Heat. But this, you got Steve Nash as a coach, all these players coming together, and like, Kyrie missing half the games because he just missing them just because. Kevin Durant really not talking to the media. James Harden pushing his way out of Houston during the season, not during the contract year. He still had time on his contract.
I bet
He
you they.
just pushed his way up out of there.
As soon as he seen that Durant was healthy, he probably was like, I need to go hook up back on my boy because we was together in OKC.
No, it was because he didn't see a future in Houston after they got rid of Westbrook. You know, he didn't have that much faith in John Wall and who was the other guy? I
Apparently,
forgot who else.
Washington didn't either. That's why he's not there no more.
You know,
But I was just gonna say, this is how adamant I am about this Paul George situation. And y'all know what I'm about to say is true because I cannot stand this dude. But if I was Kawhi right now, I would want Kyrie rather than Paul George. At least Kyrie, he might not have the greatest defense, but he can get you some points. This dude ain't even getting no points. He's not even trying to draw a foul and get to the free throw line to try to get a shot on by making free throws. He's like a ghost, man. He's not doing nothing.
What about defense though? And Kyrie ain't gonna give you that defense, right?
yeah,
I'll take
because
points over defense because you're gonna get defense anyway as a team, and plus Kawhi can shut down the best dude if he needs to. So
and he's still giving you 20 points or close to it by the end of the
OJ, a
night.
number two is not supposed to score just 20 points. You're supposed to be at
That's all
least
you.
25, 30.
That's all you asking of a player is to give you 20. If they can give you 20, then you be
Okay,
good enough to
maybe on
understand.
somebody who's just coming into the league or who's becoming a superstar. But this dude was established when he was in Indiana, and he put up the same kind of numbers when he was in OKC. You get to the Clippers and you just fall off. That's not what you're supposed to do, especially if you were requested by one of the best players in the league.
Some stars shine brighter in the big lights than others. That's all I,
Maybe he
you
just
know.
can't handle LA. I guess I don't
This
know.
just proves this just proves that superstars are not good at bringing talent around them. They picked the wrong players.
Yep. I mean, look at look
They
at look at
picked
the
the
Lakers in
wrong players.
what year was that? '03 or '04? They had Malone. They had Peyton. They had Shaq. They had Kobe, and then you had Derek Fisher bringing up the rear, and they couldn't get the job done. Yeah, they got out of the East, but Detroit was like, no. And most of the people
Hey,
on that team was young and not even established yet. The only
Ben Wallace was that deal, and they had Chauncey Billups. They had Hamilton.
and
Man,
yeah, I'm about to say
they
Red
had a
Hamilton.
squad.
they had Rasheed
Yeah,
Wallace too. Remember?
Rasheed Wallace. Yep, yep. Tayshaun
Hmm
Prince, I think, was on that team too.
Oh yeah, he was a rookie that year.
hmm
Yeah.
But they had a squad.
Milwaukee
But
trying to get back in this game, I guess. Watch
but
it,
just
bro.
so y'all know, LeBron James went through that team to go to the NBA championship.
Oh, he did. That's right.
That same team.
Yeah,
What
but he
team?
sucked that year.
They
that
had,
Detr- that
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 Detroit team.
oh, that Detroit
that
team?
Detroit
They
team.
didn't care. They
Yeah.
already got their ring. Just like Boston didn't care the year that they beat them too.
I gotta say this though. After LeBron went out the way he did, bet you Schroeder be gone. Uh, uh, that
Oh, he cleaning
I mean,
house.
I really don't think Dennis
Caldwell Pope
Schroeder
was
is a
hurt. Even though
starter anyway.
he was hurt, so he might get a pass.
He
You know,
only getting the
you
pass because he's part of Clutch Sports.
you know
But other
what?
than that,
You know what LeBron need to do? He need to get rid of Anthony Davis and bring Damian Lillard over on the
Yeah, that's what I was
Lakers.
just
Yeah.
gonna say.
nah,
They gonna
he
go
gonna
after
bring
Damian Lillard. He's
he
gonna
gonna
go after
bring
him.
Damian Lillard, but he's gonna keep Anthony Davis because of the
Why
contract
would you
issue.
keep? But anyway, I don't understand.
They
Like
they they
the
agreed
man's
for
hurt.
5 years. They locked in for 5 years. They
Oh
can't get
yeah,
out of that.
Yeah, that's true.
yep.
I mean, technically they could trade his ass. I mean,
They could
oops.
trade him.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
Keep it G,
Yeah.
man. Keep it G. Rated C, whatever.
But
PG, whatever.
he I don't know. I think they might not have enough money to get rid of, like y'all. That's what y'all probably alluding to, right? Getting rid of Anthony
I think.
Davis.
I really think Damian Lillard is. Could they just swap him, like, and
No,
just get some more picks?
what I'm saying, how can you
Nah,
go
I wouldn't do that.
0 points in
They're
a
about to.
playoff game? Schroeder and Caldwell Pope,
They
they gotta go.
well, Schroeder's young. Pope ain't got no excuse, but Schroeder's young. He's not even
So
30
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
they need
Schroeder's a
guard
good
help,
player,
and
but
your boy put
here's
up 55 and lost.
But the other thing is too that with these guys, if LeBron wants to take a step back and calm down, he'll see that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have a lot of time to play together during the year, so they didn't have time to follow his leadership. So, I
And he
mean,
tried to work it out. He tried to. That's what he tried to do, and I think that he knew that that wasn't going to win them the championship, which I actually don't agree with. I thought that he should have just been way more aggressive. He shouldn't have been take. He should have just been like, "Look, I got to take y'all on a ride with me because y'all not gonna get it done." And it was
But
proven that they couldn't get it done because it was the seventh seed in the first place. He missed
and
so
they
many
and they
games.
had to play in.
y'all forget
Right.
that he was hurt. His body
I'm
wouldn't
not
allow him
saying
to
that.
do it. That's all I'm saying. Even though he
Well,
wanted
then you got. Well, then you just got to go ahead and put yourself out there and say that, like, I'm hurt, and leave
Uh-huh.
it out there instead of coming out there half cocked, and then you got to deal with then you got the media looking at you like, well, what are you doing? You gonna come out here like 50%?
So I was
That's
listening to. So we're talking about Anthony Davis. We're talking about
We was
He's
talking
talking
about
about
LeBron
LeBron actually,
James.
LeBron James. Yeah.
but
his,
you know,
he's saying that his ego
after
won't let him do
what
it.
happened to Durant a couple years ago in Golden State, the media needs to shut up and sit down because if a
Yeah.
player say they can't play and they're too hurt and they're not ready to go, then they need to respect that
Yes,
because Durant
correct.
did the
Yep.
same. He listened to the media. He let the pressure get to him. Went out there and played and ended up missing a whole nother year.
Yeah.
So I would not be
Mm-hmm.
mad at LeBron or Anthony Davis if they had said, you know what, let's just pack it in and come back next year because we're not 100% and I don't want to risk further injury. I wouldn't have been mad
Right.
about that.
That ankle
Right.
injury looked bad. I'm not,
Really?
like it looked bad. He do stepped right on it. It looked like it snapped almost.
Oof.
When LeBron got that ankle injury, I don't know about Anthony Davis because he
Look.
always
So
seemed
so
like he
Anthony
hurt.
Davis. So somebody I was listening to the broadcast, right? In Grant Hill. Grant Hill was saying, "Look, Anthony Davis has no business being out here hurt the way he's hurt because it's his jump. He can't even jump because of the growing. So in the lower body movement, I guess you gotta jump
But
and
he's
twist
always
and
hurt
turn and
though.
whatnot. Yeah, he
That's what
He
I was
was
just about
hurt
to bring
all
up.
that's why they got
playoffs.
rid of him
I
in
like
Last
I,
Detroit.
playoffs.
right, and I don't agree with Stephen A. very often, but I want to say I pose a question like he did on their show. I'm not promoting nothing. Everybody already knows about their show on ESPN every day
Right?
at
Go
9
ahead.
Central, whatever.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
what is he doing in the off season to make sure he's durable? Like he said,
Seems like nothing.
LeBron James got a gym and a weight room in his house. Go over there and
Yep.
work out with him. Look,
Yep.
I ain't saying that you got to go force him to do it, but when yeah, I have to relate to it. I know people don't like me talking about it, but it's my era, so I'm going to talk about it. After 94, when Jordan lost to the Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals, he gave Pippen and the rest of the crew the week off. A week. He
Mm.
said, meet me back here in a week. They worked out every day all summer.
My
Running,
goodness.
drills, passing,
Hmm.
shooting, all that.
Hmm.
Right when Rodman got traded to the team, he included him in the team. They went out to dinner.
Hmm.
They went on yacht rides. I mean, they got to know each other. But
Yeah,
today's NBA don't
that's
do
what you
that.
do.
They're too busy being friends with other people on other teams and trying to hook up super teams and winning, taking
But I'm gonna
shortcuts. I guess.
I'm gonna tell you though, bro. Brooke, what was it? The Knicks in Atlanta. Woo, they didn't like each other, boy. It was Reggie Miller,
That's a rivalry in the making right there.
and Reggie Miller was like, "I like this." I'm like, "Yeah, I do too, buddy."
But yeah, but to go back to Anthony Davis
Mm,
and this his issues with
yeah,
as far as the
yeah.
working out goes, I think that
Or get a different trainer, dude, because it
no,
seems like this trainer ain't working out for you like it should be.
like you said, he probably just needs to work out with they all need to work out as a team and
Work
figure
out,
this
yeah,
out. 'Cause,
right.
he's
I'm sure that's what they're gonna do next year.
he's just been
Before
hurt
this
all the
summer, they do
time and
that.
it
Who's all
doesn't
who
even look right.
who's all the free agent on that team? Because I know Shorter's not. I know Dave has ain't, and LeBron got.
They've extended pretty much everybody.
So they're pretty much locked in. So they just need to hey, look, starting in July, when the NFL starts, y'all need to start training camp. Y'all both start the same time. I mean, I guess the NBA starts in November, but September and October to me is not enough time to get ready. But whatever. What we think about this Philly series? Is that going? I think it's probably going to go 6. If Embiid can stay healthy, then it'll probably be Philly winning. But the way Durant is playing, I don't think anybody's coming out the East except the Nets. I hate to say it, but it looks like the Nets is going to be in the NBA Finals this year. And then I guess I gotta give Durant his credit on going to different teams winning championships. But to me, at the same time, he always hooked up with other superstars instead of having a team his own. But that's neither here nor there. It's not gonna say that in the Hall of Fame or in the record book. So,
No.
what makes Durant more dangerous to anybody? Number one, he can play defense, and number two, he's 7 feet and he can make a three with ease. So now, true enough,
Nobody can hardly contest it besides the big man in the league, and they can't stay with him.
But to be fair, as we always say, it's the new 3-point line, because when they moved that 3-point line in a foot 9 inches, Reggie Miller was hot.
Yes, he was.
He was mad.
Yes, he was.
He broke records with that old 3-point line.
So what was the line? 18 feet?
No, it's
No,
right
20.
now it's 21-4. It used to be 23-9.
Oh wow.
And the only person I can really give credit for shooting a real three is Steph Curry, because he's usually 2 or 3
Steph,
feet behind the line when he makes those. So, but
I mean, LeBron James all day, but you know, it is what it is.
But, you know, I guess there's one Curry still in the playoffs because his brother plays for Philly. So,
Yep.
he's actually
Speaking of brothers,
Seth can shoot though. Seth can
Also,
shoot.
speaking of brothers, what about Austin Rivers? He's been stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he
Well,
play
that's
for?
a father
Phoenix?
and son. That's a father and son. Phoenix, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They got a good team. You think they could beat the Nets?
I think so.
Phoenix?
I think they could, because they got too many weapons. It's not relying on just 2 or 3 people like the Nets are and a bunch of role players. They play collective offense and defense, especially with Chris Paul with the leadership. If he can stay healthy, that team's probably going to be unbeatable.
Yeah.
Especially if what's his name don't come back.
But you don't see. I mean, you don't see a dynasty like a 3P or something like that.
They're young.
Them.
They're
Yeah.
young, so it could happen. But Chris Paul's not going to play forever.
No.
But you know that's why Devin Booker's starting to take more of the lead.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, if Mike Conley don't come back, I don't see Utah beating Phoenix. I don't even see them beating the Clippers, actually, unfortunately. But if the Clippers go 7 in
What's
this
the team
one,
they got?
who? Utah?
The Jazz?
Devin
the
Booker.
Jazz, Utah.
I mean, not Devin Booker, but Mitchell can't
If
drop.
Donovan-
He can't drop 45 every night, like OJ
Well, I'm saying
said.
that if Donovan Mitchell's a superstar, he gonna get him. He gonna get him passed, right?
Yeah, but I mean, everybody, you know as well as anybody, you need help.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's them role
Yeah.
players coming out the bench.
But
Yeah,
if
but-
you just get him past this series, though, if he just get him past this series, Conley might be back by then, right?
Might be. But if Utah doesn't win this series and Clippers have to go 6 or 7, they're not getting past Phoenix. They're going to be too tired. Especially with Paul George coming up small.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I mean,
Most
you
teams
don't-
do not go 7. You know, you don't go 7 game series back to except this last year with the Nuggets. But then they had a break though during the season.
Yeah, exactly. They had
So,
like 3
but-
months
so-
off, so.
Right.
And OJ,
So-
to another point of yours, I understand you can be a streaky player, and maybe he's always been like that, but they paid him too much money to come over and help Kawhi bring a first championship to the Clippers. That's inexcusable. I'm sorry.
But he does I mean, it's not like he don't do the other little things to make
Maybe-
up for it when he's struggling.
Not lately. I mean, a little bit of defense here and there, but I need some points. especially when you ain't got nobody else on the team that's making. Rondo ain't doing nothing. Beverly's on the bench. Reggie Jackson, yeah, but I mean, pretty soon teams are gonna start queuing in on that.
Marcus Morris, he's stepping up.
And what
And you
about
got
your boy, that you called out the other day? He must have heard you, OJ. Rudy Gobert blocked that 3-pointer at the in that
oh yeah,
last
you
play.
seen that, huh?
Yeah, I put it in
Playing
the
that
chat.
good.
I was like, "Did you see the defense on that last play?"
That's the only
David
reason why they won that game.
missed it, but
But that's what
I'm
they're gonna
starting.
have to have inside outside game. You know, Daniel Marshall and Rudy Gobert gonna have to lead them
Yeah,
if
Marshall's gonna need a little more help though. The role players and the bench is gonna have to step up because he can't do 40. I mean, I know he's young, but he can't do 45 or 50 every night. Even though he did it last year, he did, he had 4 games in a row when he had 45, 50 points last year in the bubble. That's why they beat the
Yeah,
Clippers in the first round, or was it the second round? First round.
the Nuggets beat the Clippers, right?
Yep, yep.
And that was the
yeah,
second round.
But that, I wanted to see that matchup though. That's too bad that Murray's hurt because Mitchell and Murray going at it in the semis last year. That was a classic series.
And that was must see TV right there. And they barely won that series with the seventh game. They, came to the last shot, and
Yeah, them two teams are
Mike
evenly
Conley missed.
matched. The Utah and Denver are definitely the NBA West future. So
It's pretty weird to say, right? The
right,
Nuggets and the Jazz.
it go down to mid
I like
nineties.
how I predict these teams are gonna be good because I like the young stars they got like Phoenix and Atlanta, and now both of those teams have overachieved and gotten to the second round.
But just for the record, the two teams in both the East and the West that I said was going to be the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals, are still in it. Just so y'all know.
Hmm. But but of all the teams out and on the West, LA has the best roster. If you just look on paper, so LA statistically should win it
Yeah,
all.
but when you got people not showing up, and I'm not talking about just Paul George either. Rondo ain't doing his thing like he did in L.A. and Boston. You got Beverly riding the pine because he ain't getting the job done. You got people like Reggie Jackson stepping up, but again, Kawhi's gonna need some help. Otherwise, they ain't getting
All right,
past Utah if he don't get no help.
all right, fellas. Before we run out of time, I gotta bring this up because it's something I mentioned. All right, out of Scottie Pippen's new book. Simply put, without Pippen, there are no championships, let alone six. There's no Last Dance, no Michael Jordan as we know him. No 1990s Bulls teams as we know them. Pippen details how he cringed at being called or being labeled Jordan's sidekick, dealing with MJ on a day-to-day basis, gaining more respect, serving as the real leader of the Bulls locker room. Unguarded. That's his book. Scottie Pippen.
Did you read the whole
What y'all
thing,
got to say about that?
or did you
That's
just
what he
read
said.
that?
Yeah,
No, I mean, did you
that
read the
was
whole
just a quote.
book, or did you just read the quote?
I just read the quote. The book don't come out till November.
Go ahead, OJ, because I might have to go on a rant on this one.
No, no. I always said Pippen didn't get it just due. So that man finally wanna say his side of the story. I think it's true because Michael Jordan was there, and yeah, he was leading his team to the playoffs, but they couldn't get past the Pistons. Pistons was too physical for him. And then Pippen comes. Now you got somebody to help him.
Was that first year though? Pippen was sick.
You was breaking up. I didn't really hear that.
Pippen was sick that first year, and they lost like that game or something. I don't know if it was against the
Yeah, that was
Pistons.
91, right? That was 91,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I was against the
I think.
one year Jordan got hurt, and then the other year Pippen and got sick. That's what you're referring
Yeah,
to.
1 year he was sick. I can't remember which it
Mm,
was.
yeah, but
I'm
that's
gonna
why they got
Go
rid of
ahead,
all the
Cliff.
hand check rules and all that because of them bad boys. They putting that D on people.
Pippen was a great asset to the Bulls team. I don't know about him being the real leader in the locker room because Jordan was vocal and very adamant about winning. Of course, Jordan needed Pippen's defense, his points, just like LeBron needs Anthony Davis when he shows up and is not hurt. But as for them not winning them championships without Pippen, I can say maybe three. The other three, if Pippen hadn't been on the team and they had to replace him with somebody that could do something similar to what Pippen could do, I still think they would have won them championships. But, you know, Pippen, if he had a problem with being called Jordan's sidekick or, you know, second fiddle, right hand, whatever he wants to be called, he should take that up with the media because that's who called him that. People like Skip Bayless was writing articles in the 90s for the Chicago Times and junk like that. Jordan never called him that. Jordan always said there would have been no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen, or Jordan would have never won MVPs without Scottie Pippen. I don't know what his beef is because he was the first fool that used to say that LeBron is going to be better than Michael Jordan, this, that, and the other. That's neither here nor there because that's two different eras, and LeBron has earned my respect, so I'm not even going to rain on that parade. But if this is his way of lashing out at Michael Jordan, should have saved the last dance, yada yada yada, because he didn't get his money. He didn't get his money because that was his fault. He's the one who let the owner trick him into that contract and want to go out and get that back surgery at the beginning of the season when he knew what he was doing because he wasn't going to get paid. And if he was such a leader, how come in that game against the New York Knicks in the playoffs when he wasn't the last option with Phil Jackson, he sat on the bench like a little punk because Phil Jackson put the ball in Tony Kukoc's hands. Don't get me started. If he's a leader, why isn't he in the game on that last play of the game when they got the win against the Knicks in that playoff game in '94 when Jordan wasn't there? Anybody who watched the Bulls in the '90s knew that there was no Jordan without Mike, and vice versa. Because evidently Michael Jordan had a big part of it because he didn't win no championship without him. What about
You gonna
that?
make me go watch that game?
What about that? Does he say anything in that book about not winning a championship without Jordan? Because Jordan's always giving him credit.
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't come out to November. So
No, I'm reading
we'll
it
see.
too.
They touched the nerve, Cliff.
How you gonna be ungrateful 25 years later?
Hey, we just saying. Hey, he was that deal. As me and OJ always say, Scottie Pippen was that deal.
I'm not saying he wasn't a great player because he was.
He's just saying he wasn't as good as Michael Jordan or as a leader. As you just said that Michael Jordan said that they gonna be working out every day after that loss. Is that correct?
Yep, that's a known fact.
Well, to be fair, Scottie Pippen had a chance to prove that he was as good as Michael Jordan when he with the Portland Trailblazers, and those teams never made it anywhere.
But to be fair to Scottie Pippen, that team when Jordan was gone, didn't they make it to the Eastern Conference? But it was a blown call or something like that.
They called a phantom foul on uh, Pippen, or maybe it was
And would he
Ron Harper.
would he have won that championship if they didn't call that?
No,
They won the NBA championship.
no.
No.
They might have got to the NBA Finals, but they wasn't beating Houston. Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Sam Cassell, Kenny Smith. Do I need to say any more? No, they was
Sir,
they,
you-
they,
Did
they was not beating that
did they-
Houston
did they-
Rockets team.
did they sweep the Houston Rockets? Did they sweep who they play?
New York?
They
No, they
sweep New York?
no, it went 7.
No, they swept my Magic when we had
Magic
Shaq. That was
and
Shaq.
Penny, right? Y'all had Shaq and Penny,
Yeah,
right?
Shaq and Penny. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And your boy D3 works for TNT now.
Yep, he does. Dennis Scott, to my Dennis Scott.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That was his nickname back then, D3, because
yeah, yeah.
Shaq would drive the lane and throw it to him. I mean, and he almost never missed.
Mm.
That's why the team
Penny
that
and Penny's coach in Memphis now. So the
the
Tigers,
Grizzlies. Oh, I was
dope
about to say.
Tigers, Memphis Tigers.
Yeah, the
Oh no,
University of Memphis.
uh,
University. Of Memphis.
so somebody said that Dwayne Wade is probably one of the top 3 guards of all time.
Mm.
What y'all think about that?
I don't
There's
know.
been a lot of good guards though.
Must
I
have.
mean,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't answer that
Uh,
because I'm a Dwayne Wade fan. I watched him ever since he was at Marquette, since I'm in Minnesota and Marquette's in Wisconsin. So I can't give an unbiased opinion. I thought everybody who passed on him was stupid.
I'm not saying that he ain't good. I'm just saying to make that claim. I don't know. The Jerry West,
He didn't say it. Somebody else did. I can't remember where I saw that. That was on a podcast or something I was listening to.
know, in his day, you know.
I was gonna
I
say,
put him
was
at
it?
least top
I don't
10
think it
because of
was.
his
I was gonna.
championships and accomplishments.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think it was Bomani that said that, but
I
I
don't
remember
even.
hearing that.
I don't even listen to him anymore.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh wow.
Talking about talent, achievements, both. What?
They just said rounded up, well rounded, uh, top 3 guards of all time is what they were saying.
Oh yeah, he's got everything.
Yeah.
He's got everything.
How many rings he got? 3. Yeah,
Yep.
because he got 2 with LeBron and 1 with Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, all right, what's the score of that game, Quail?
Which one? The only one that's on probably. No, you ain't talking
Yeah.
about baseball.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
Yankees are up 3-1 on the Twins. That's
Mm.
what you talking about? No, I'm just playing. 51-53. 51-53, Milwaukee. So they didn't cut it to 2
Mm.
points. And the Twins are trash this year too.
No. Who's leading the AL this year?
Who cares? Did I just say that on the air? My fault.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You know dang,
AL East,
you know dang well we don't talk about
Wow.
baseball until the playoffs.
Nope.
especially the AL East. All about them Rays, baby. All about them
Here you
Rays.
go. Them Yankees got a good team this year, I heard. So y'all ain't gonna do
And-
nothing.
And me and OJ were talking about the college ball.
Yeah, we'll get that.
And
We'll get to that in a minute because we got to wrap up anyway. But
Yeah.
so I'm gonna come at you, Quail, because I can't do it to Stephen A. When he was all hyped about what Derrick Rose did in that one game, and then he didn't do nothing else for the rest of the series. So is Derrick Rose back?
Hey, you better stop hating on Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is not a bad player. Now he give his all. You can't say that about Kyrie. You seen you. It's almost like you branch Kyrie in and Derrick Rose in the same line here, but
No,
Derrick Rose always put out his all.
I'd take Rose over Kyrie any day of the week. At least
I don't know about that.
At least Rose plays defense.
Yeah, but that man had to change his whole game though, because of his injury.
He's old anyway.
Because
He
how
just need to
explosive
retire.
he was.
He need to retire. He really does.
Mhm.
I don't give him enough credit
Hey.
for when he was in Chicago. I was just mad because they didn't win nothing when he was there. But
Hey, he put that team on his back.
yeah, he did. And when
LeBron James and Dwayne Wade couldn't do nothing with him for a while.
and then when Jimmy Butler
I
got
think it
there,
took
he
him
didn't.
7.
He was young and didn't help. Hey, before we go to this college football stuff, your boy Stephen A. said that Portland should get Carl Anthony Towns to come over there. That'd be the help that he needs.
No.
Man,
I
K
mean,
Towns is trash. I don't even know why.
yeah.
He need to retire. He need to retire. He got his money already for the Timberwolves. He can go ahead and retire. Joel Embiid was right. I don't even like Joel Embiid like that. That dude is soft. He's soft.
Speaking of Joel Embiid, who would have resurrected their career over in Philly, OJ? The gentle giant himself, Dwight Howard, banging boards and hitting free throws. What's up with that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He already had a resurgence with the Lakers. He was killing during that Denver series. They wouldn't have
Yes, it
won without
was,
him.
and that's
He was
why
tearing them.
they missing him right now. Missing him and McGee.
Definitely missing Dwight Howard. He
Oh,
showed and displayed that he ain't what he was, but he got defense. That's for sure.
Yeah, he is. He gives Embiid that breather that he needs.
Hmm.
But I'll let up on Ben Simmons a little bit because he did show me something in that game 6 against Washington. But he better do something in this series when, the team is needing some points. I know he can't make free throws, so they need to keep the ball out of his hands in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Hey,
So,
hey,
but how you
hey,
gonna
look,
be a
strategy for
but how you gonna be a guard and not be able to make free throws?
because he's a big man.
I-
Big
or
man
just
can't.
or
Ben
dude,
Simmons,
just go hack the
Ben
shot.
Simmons
Just go
ain't a
hack the
big
shot.
man. He's a guard.
He's a guard.
He's
Dude.
6'10".
He is 6'10" though. He is big for a guard.
He's still a guard though. He's still a. That's the position that he plays.
You're right.
You got to be able to shoot as a guard. I don't agree with Cliff a lot of times, but dang, you got to be able to shoot if you're a guard. That's like part of the job description. When they say, "Hey, you want to be a guard?" They be like, "Can you shoot?" Oh, we got to move on. We got to move on.
All right, let's move
Why
on
don't
to
you
this.
just play the small forward
That's what
position?
I was gonna say. I mean, because it would be a better position. You might have a little more of an advantage over the people that are on other teams, unless of course it's Kevin Durant. But anyway,
Yeah, right.
that dude's just on a whole nother level right now. That injury resurrected him. I mean, he's playing like he was playing when he was in OKC
Hmm.
with no
Can't
help.
be stopped. He
They
can't
said
be
that
stopped.
he's the best player on the planet right now. So that's
Well,
what.
He is.
can't nobody stop him. I mean,
Hey, I didn't say I was disputing it. I'm just telling you what they say. According to Quill on the last podcast, we are the media, so I'm just reporting what the media's saying.
Yeah, we are.
he doesn't dominate the ball because he knows he can get his at any time.
So,
You know,
all right, let's wrap it up with this college football. What you got for us, OJ? You said something about going to a 8-man or 8-team playoff next year, or is that going to be 2022-23?
um, it's gonna be actually 12 teams. That was the update for today. It says the CFP group recommended a 12-team playoff. The top 4 teams to get buys, while the first round of games will be played on campus, on the school's campus. The final decision to be made by the end of the month. Looks if it goes okay, if it's implemented, the soonest it can be implemented is 2023. It also says that the 12-team model would invite the top 6 conference champs and 6 at-large teams into the field.
Put some of the
There will
smaller
be
schools in there to get their
I
get the
personally think 12 is too many. I mean, that's
yeah.
getting into NFL kind of format. I was thinking more along the lines of 6 teams. The top 2 teams getting a bye, and let the other 4 teams round robin it out. But it's not my deal. So
there, also that there will be no time. There will be no limit of the number of teams that could come from one conference. At the same time, there will be no automatic bids.
the bottom line is we get to see this whole stupid ACC or SEC in damn playoffs, and we won't be able to do nothing about it.
Hey, yeah, it's saying that no matter what conference it is, they can have 3 or 4 teams on the same conference now. But as far as the seeding will go, it says that the teams ranked 5 through 8 would be the teams that get to host the campus games, and then those games will start 2 weeks following the championship games.
Mm.
So this is 2022-23, right? Not this year coming up, or it could be for this year coming up.
It could be for this year, but
You
to
gotta
be
finalize it
fair,
first.
it takes time to get everything adjusted. Just like when they expanded from 2 teams to four, it took a couple years to get everything right. So I think
Well,
the
I
same.
mean,
What else do
wait, though.
what else do they
Didn't they
got to do?
start
What
with the beat?
do you mean it takes time? What
Huh?
else they got to do except be in a meeting and eat donuts? What else they doing?
Yeah.
Look, I've been a coach. Football, basketball, and wrestling. In all three of those sports, all we do in them coaches meetings is sit around and eat food. We talking about a seating meeting for wrestling. Yo, right.
Yeah.
1 through 4, we're done. The last 45 minutes, we talking and eating. They ain't doing nothing.
But
But we'll see.
Wait,
So how
secrets
do
now. You better stop it.
how do they see in wrestling? Is it like who won the most matches?
Yeah,
Or,
pretty much.
like,
Or a tiebreaker. So
Mates, tiebreak.
if a dude that's seated higher lost to the
Uh-huh.
dude that's seated lower, then coaches argue about who should be. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's usually predetermined before you get in there, but sometimes you win an argument.
Sometimes I watch the NCAA wrestling, like college wrestling stuff.
So, all right, we already know the Nets is gonna probably beat Milwaukee to probably go 5. What do y'all think this well, who else is playing in the East? Oh, Atlanta and Philly. How many is that going, and who's gonna win?
if Philly could play the ball like they played the other night, the, ultimately it's going to be Philly that wins it out because they just bodied the trade Ice Trey. They just bottled them, put different bodies on them, and that's the way that you're going to have to beat him because he's the spark for that team. Now everybody else has had to step up, which they can't, and you got Embiid giving you 30 plus every night. I don't know what done
Mm-hmm.
gotten to him, but I'm glad that he's starting to be the big time player that
He started
we thought
listening
he
to the
would
Stirred
be.
Up podcast, and he got tired of OJ saying he was coming up small. So,
Absolutely.
how many games is it going, Quail?
What, the 76ers?
Atlanta, yeah.
76ers? Atlanta? 6.
OJ Clippers or Jazz.
6 76ers.
Uh, I'm watching depending on tonight. I want to say the Jazz because they're number one seed for a reason.
hmm
You know, a lot of people look at Utah and they be like,
Right.
"Oh, that's just Utah." You know, even
You
split
can't do that
alone.
anymore. You can't do that anymore.
You know, I like these young players. It's like it's a new guard. You got to give them their respect. Are they gonna take it? And I
I,
think if Utah can get past L.A., Utah going to the finals.
I don't know. The Phoenix is gonna be that's gonna be a good series though.
hmm
And I think Phoenix is gonna sweep Denver. Just saying.
Denver
Ain't
don't
gonna.
got enough firepower without Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
I think she'll win that.
All
Hey
right.
hey Jamal Murray should call up all of his Kentucky teammates and say, "Hey, look, come to Denver."
Yep. So. All right. Y'all know where to find us.
Yeah.
Zeno Radio, ZENO. Search for Stirred Up Live, Facebook, and Twitter.